I'm Jacob Sanders. I live in London, and I work for the Sanders for President campaign.
And how long have you been? I mean, as you're born here, how long have you been interested in American politics? Have you always followed it? Is it in the bloodline? Is it?
Well, since my uncle was elected mayor in 1981, I've taken a particular interest in American politics.
Right.
But you know, the United States is a great country, and it's what it does, what happens there affects everyone.
I'm a big Bernie fan and a big Bernie supporter, and I've been working on the London for Bernie campaign for 3 or 4 months now. As an American, I just remember in school, even I went to a very liberal school in Chicago, we were always taught that America was the greatest country on earth, and we had the best quality of life, and all other countries were suffering. Everyone in Africa is suffering, and the only way that you can make great societies through capitalism and free market economics is the only way to go. And like, you're just indoctrinated with that from a young age.
So I just voted for Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
To vote.
Why have you voted for him? What does he represent to you?
Change.
People feel disconnected from the system, and it's that disconnectedness that both Bernie is tapping into, saying, look, we can do something different, but also Donald Trump. And that's why they're both popular on the fringes of the party.
Okay.
And perhaps maybe not to the party's, I wouldn't say rank and file, but to the structures of the party.
What Bernie stands for, he talks about a political revolution, and I think that's exactly what we need. I think that it means taking the power away from corporations, from institutions that have controlled the United States government for way too long.
What is it Bernie Sanders means to you?
I really appreciate a candidate that finally is doing a campaign corruption-free, that is only taking money from people and not massive corporations that will sway his voting views.
And what do you say when Hillary Clinton says, well, you know, people pay me money to go and speak at things, but I've got my point of view and I just say what I think. No one's ever changed my point of view because of money.
It's bullshit.
If the millions of people and the people's will is to bring about change that actually implies that you have to directly challenge the power of big business, maybe even expropriate some big businesses. Is that acceptable to you? Is that what you would say if people want that? Do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Larry Sanders. I'm here supporting my brother Bernie in his campaign to be president.
And how do you feel about the situation now after the Super Tuesday?
I think that Bernard has a very good chance to win. The states that he's likely to lose have almost all gone, and the states that remain are more like the ones he won.
I think people in America are now perhaps ready and open to socialist ideas in a way that they've never been before, or how do you view the...
Bernard's take on socialism has been mainly in terms not of what many Brits would call socialist. He's not talked a lot about ownership of major corporations. He's talked much more about the kind of things that Franklin Roosevelt accomplished, which included providing good employment for anybody who didn't get it in the private sector. So there are ways in which the American system has had very strong elements, and those are coming back.
Okay, and given the fact he's trying to launch a movement of millions of people, would it then in theory be possible if they wanted, say, if they felt the companies weren't delivering or were betraying people, that they would take action against them, even to the extent of nationalising, for example?
I'm sure that's possible. Bernard has not been very keen to describe a blueprint. His key thing is that the government has to work for all the people, and a government that works for all the people will do what's necessary.
The movement of millions he talks about to make a political revolution is quite strong language for an American politician. What's the meaning of it, and how will that movement appear? How will it change America?
I think the point is that if elected officials are going to challenge the power structure, the money power structure, then they need to bring ordinary people into play to count as a counterweight to the power of money in the political process. And that's what Bernie has done by raising enough money with donations averaging $27 to compete with rival candidates candidates who are getting their money from millionaires and usually billionaires. And to continue that after the election, what it will involve doing is getting those people involved. Millions of people who've never been involved in the political process before, getting involved in election campaigning and in campaigning on the issues between elections.
So would that almost be like a constitutional change, or is it the realisation of the constitutional power of the people?
I don't think it's a constitutional change. I think the Constitution gives the power to democracy, to the electorate, and if they will use it, then they will prevail.
Today has resulted in London 341 to 189 for Bernie Sanders.
And what did you think about Jeremy Corbyn and his election?
Yeah, I think it's great. I wasn't surprised when he won. Just like I won't be surprised when Bernie wins.